Welcome to the This Mum Loves Tech podcast, the go-to show for female business owners who want to simplify tech and get the support they need to grow their online businesses with confidence. I'm Nicola Walsh, your podcast host. I'm also a mum to two cheeky boys and I love tech, so you don't have to. I'm here to share actionable tips, tools and strategies that will help you streamline your business and make the tech work for you. So whether you're watching after the kids have gone to bed or listening while on the school run, let's dive into today's episode and make tech that little bit easier. Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Mum Loves Tech podcast. I've got another guest with me today and I am super excited to be talking to Vicky, the website mentor. She has been my website guru since I've created my first website in summer of 2021, and I've kind of been in her world since. She's not going to get rid of me, whether she likes it or not. But yeah, so Vicky, it's really great to have you with me today, and we're going to do a little bit of talking about funnels because you did a brilliant workshop inside the This Mum Loves Tech membership. This is the very first one, actually. I know it set all of the other memberships off on a very high level. First, before we get into talking funnels and tech and all that kind of stuff, which I know we could talk about for hours, I would love for you to tell me a little bit about you and what you do and your journey to where you are today.
Thanks, Nicola. Thanks for inviting me on. Yeah, so I was never intending to be a web designer or anything web related. So my journey started a long, long time ago, back in the early 2000s when I was working in Zambia. And then I started a conservation organization with some friends in California. And our website was like the biggest headache for us. So someone else was managing it for us and it was costing us a lot of money. And every time we did an update, it was either taking a child out of school or taking an anti-poaching patrol off the job. So I started teaching myself web design, and there wasn't any Google or YouTube back then, and so I was terrified of what I was doing. But that was my first kind of foray into websites, and I loved it, and I realized what the power of the internet was. And then lots of people started asking me to help them with their websites, which was so ironic because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But back in 2003, I set up my online marketing agency. And I've really been doing that ever since, building websites for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And then in 2015, I started teaching entrepreneurs how to build their own client-winning websites. So I'm still doing that now. So I don't know if that's just like a lack of imagination. That's about 22 years now. But anyway, I love it. Yeah, that's how our paths crossed. So it can't be bad.
Yeah, it was indeed. And there's that saying, isn't it? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, if it's working for you, then actually just slightly diverted into kind of the whole business kind of side of it. That's really comforting to know that if you find something that works, you can just keep doing it year after year after year. If there's still that demand for it, don't change. Don't change like just because of what other people are doing. You know, if what you're doing people want and are still interested in learning, then you know you can just keep going with the same thing. And I think that's a really amazing message and thing that you've been able to do is to keep teaching people how to build websites for these years. Yeah, and as you said, that is how we got to know each other. I joined Vicky's Rock That Website course in, I think it was May 2021.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, first because before that I had like dabbled with Wix and stuff, but I'd heard through starting to get into the kind of online business world that if you were really serious about websites and designing ones that could stand the test of time, then WordPress was the where to do that. And yeah, I didn't have a clue when it came to WordPress, and someone else that I knew was doing your challenges that you did at the time. And joined one of them, and I was just like, yeah, this is the woman. This is the woman that's going to teach me how to build a website.
That's so cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel really blessed. I mean, obviously it's been like such a journey because the whole digital marketing landscape has changed massively since the end of the 90s, which is when I first started getting involved in it. But yeah, it's amazing to be able to just kind of pivot and change and run with whatever's going on at the time, and to be able to help people start their online businesses yeah, it's great. I love it.
And you're so good at making it so simple and with clear instructions, because obviously, as we know, tech can be so overwhelming for people. And websites is one of those things where, because it's something you can always add to, people then get this perfectionism of, I'm not going to launch it yet because it's not ready. And it's like, well, actually, if you can just get something out there to start with, and I know that's something that you do with your imperfect page, I think, is get people to just get something out there so you can get started.
Yeah.
It's because it is something you can always add to. It can grow with you as your business grows, because
Yeah.
whatever your first website is, I can promise you will never be your last one.
Yeah, exactly that. I love hearing you say that. It's so true because our websites, well, they're just like an extension of us, really, and what we're offering. And we're constantly evolving, and our website should be as well, which is why I love people being able to take control of their own websites and not feeling like they're being held hostage by, someone that built it 3 years ago or whatever. So if you can really get a handle on it, and of course, we know money loves speed. So if you can implement things really fast on your website, you're going to get things to market much faster, which is it's a lot of fun. You can keep the energy up in your business and you can move quickly. So yeah, it's a great thing. But I love what you said about, the imperfect page. It is about just getting something up and running fast because you don't need to agonize over your first website. And everyone's like, oh, I need a website before I can get clients. And it's just not true. It's actually not true, which like seems counterintuitive for me to say that when I'm a web designer, but you can get clients before you have a website.
Which I think leads us really nicely into talking about funnels, because you've just said it as well. Like, having a website is not necessarily the first step, but an email list, I would say, getting people into your world in some way or another is really key. And starting your email list is that first part of the funnel. So it would be really great, because that was the masterclass that you did for the membership, was on funnel fundamentals. And obviously we don't have time today to go into the whole kind of funnel breakdown, but could you give us a brief introduction of, well, what is a funnel? Because I know there'll be people that are listening to this or watching this and thinking, okay, I've heard this word funnel, but what actually is it? What does it mean, and why do I need one?
Yeah. And I think funnels scare people because they think it's really techy. They think it's going to be something that needs to take a lot of work to set up. And actually, all a funnel is it's just a series of steps to take people from discovering you to hopefully becoming a client. And you're just moving them through a series of milestones to help nurture them and help them understand that you can close that gap from where they are now to where they need to be. And actually, a funnel doesn't necessarily need to be online. And people usually have some kind of a system in their business. So even if people are just starting out, that series of steps could be handing out a business card at a networking event, following up with an email, getting on a call with them and bringing them on board as a client. That is a funnel of kinds. And when you can systemize that and when you can automate it, it can become really powerful because then you can start to scale it. And that's why online funnels are amazing, because we can automate so many parts of it. And so a typical funnel might look something like someone sees a social media post that we put out. It leads them to a landing page where they can opt in for a free resource. They land on our email list, and then we can start nurturing them through emails. And obviously, you're a big advocate of email marketing because you teach people how to do that. But that's a typical kind of funnel. And then once we've nurtured them, obviously, we then invite them to a call or invite them to purchase a course or a workshop or whatever it might be, and they become clients. So that, in a nutshell, is all that your funnel is, just taking people through a series of steps that we've mapped out. And I have something that I call the signposting system, and that's what we can introduce on a website, is that signposting where we're constantly pushing people towards the next thing. So we're swirling them closer and closer into our online ecosystem. And it becomes really nice. And at that point, when you start building some momentum with that, that's when our businesses start to become a lot more effortless.
Yeah, and I think, and the other thing that scares people when it comes to funnel building as well is the cost. I think they think that a sales funnel is going to have to be really expensive. So it's great that you gave that, initial example of you don't even need tech at all. But also you don't need expensive tech. Like, obviously, I'm a big fan of MailerLite. It is a free email marketing tool to use. You can use it to get that first lead magnet out there, get people on your list, and you've got up to 1,000 subscribers. So you can really kind of get your head into how this whole funnel system works without having to spend hundreds and hundreds on complicated systems. Yeah, a funnel really doesn't need to cost you the earth to get up and running.
Yeah, exactly that. And once you've got your 1,000 subscribers, you should be monetizing it. So you can then afford to start paying for some of the tech. And even once you start exceeding that 1,000 subscribers, it's not a huge amount. It's not a huge investment for our email marketing tools.
No, exactly. So obviously you did a whole hour-long workshop on funnel fundamentals for the membership ladies. So if you do want to hear more about the whole sales funnel process, because obviously we just went over it very, very quickly there, you can come and join the This Mum Loves Tech membership, and you will get access to Vicky's membership and all of the other masterclasses by the guest speakers, the ones that I have done previously on tools like MailerLite and Canva and Google Workspace. And also you get 3 Q&A calls with me every month to kind of tackle your tech questions. So yeah, so that is This Mum Loves Tech /membership if you want to find out more about that. Now we've talked about funnels and systems and things and how to automate it. What I would really love to know, Vicky, is what are your top 3 tech tools that you would use when we're talking funnels? I know there's probably lots out there, but have you got maybe your 3 favorites and maybe why they're so essential to running your business? Obviously, I'm sure WordPress is one of them. But yeah, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about some of the other tools that you're using.
This is like asking me to choose my favorite child or asking me to choose my favorite chicken.
Oh,
I
your
am.
tech. Yeah.
So, yeah, WordPress would be up there, but actually it's not one of my favorite tech tools. The part that comes with that is Divi. So you obviously know that Divi is a framework that I use within WordPress. So it's a theme and it's a theme builder. And the reason why I love it is because it's shaped the way that I run my entire business. When I first started teaching people WordPress, I very quickly realized that they were getting overwhelmed with the amount of the choice of the themes that they could use. And so I started prescribing Divi and giving everybody that comes on my course lifetime access to that. And that changed everything for me. It really simplified the system for my clients and they got better results faster. But also it meant that I could specialize in one particular area. Like WordPress has so many frameworks and so many themes. And it meant that I could become an expert in that. And so that's why I love Divi. And I started using it even before it had that kind of visual builder that we all know and love now. It was very crude in comparison when I first started using it, which was back in 2015. I first started teaching that on my course. So that would be my tech tool number 1. Tech tool number 2, which is my favorite, which is not going to come as any surprise to you, is Thrivecart. And it's because it enabled me to set up products within my business to sell really, really easily. And one of the top questions that I get asked is, how do I sell from my website? And there's so many mechanisms that we can use, but Thrivecart just enabled me to do it with speed and with ease and in a way that I felt looked good and fitted with the kind of ethos of what I was trying to create. And my income, month-on-month income, increased by 300% when I first started using Thrivecart, because workshop replays that were ready for people to actually dive into, I was able to put them out there for sale and just offer people an opportunity to buy them. And that was amazing, because often the thing that people really struggle with is, once someone buys something, how do I then send them, automatically trigger an email to register their purchase and tell them how they can get hold of whatever it is that they bought. And Thrivecart just made that so easy. And then, of course, beyond that, it now has a learning management platform on it so that you can upload courses and memberships and that kind of thing. So that for me is definitely one of my favorite tech tools. And because I'm an accredited provider for Thrivecart, it also means that I do a whole lot of work in that. I'm in Thrivecart like a lot every single week. And so that again has really shaped the way that I run my business and how I build out my sales funnels. So that's tech tool number 2.
Thrivecart is one of my favorite tools, and it's Vicky that introduced it to me. No surprise there. What I love about it is it's a lifetime fee, so you buy it and then you've got it. You haven't got that monthly subscription, which you need with some other kind of the similar online checkouts and online course platforms. It's where I host my membership, my online courses. It automatically does all that connecting for me. Like you said, it connects to MailerLite, so I can send my emails from there. And I have had people that have bought things for me or done calls, and they've said this process was so so slick and so easy. Like, how have you done this? Because people have bought things from me while I've been on calls with other people, all because of Thrivecart and how it's set up. And yeah, well, yeah, definitely
And
One of the
because of your
things
funnels,
yes.
your funnels that lead to Thrivecart. I mean, it does. Thrivecart does make funnel building really, really straightforward as well. And so I love that. I love that you've got that. And so, I mean, I have hundreds of people in my community now who use Thrivecart. And so again, that's just, it's enabled me to help them on a whole different level because it takes things beyond just the website. So it enables people to sell things as well. So that's, yeah.
So that's number two. So we've mentioned Divi, that's what my website's built on as well. No surprise there because I've been part of Vicky's world. Thrivecart, definitely a must-have and an essential tech tool. Have you got a third, or is there?
This is like, it's so difficult to choose because I think I should be choosing an email marketing platform because I couldn't run my business without it. But it's not one of my favorites. So it's an essential tool, 100%, but it's not my favorite tool. My favorite tool is ConvertBox,
Yeah.
and which just happens to be a sister product of Thrivecart, but that is my lead generation tool. And it's really difficult to kind of explain exactly what ConvertBox does. People think of it as a pop-up platform, but it's so much more than that. And it enables me to run really cool promos on my website. And it also knows what people's behavior has been on your website or what they've signed up to previously. And so it shows people offers which are relevant to them. And that is just, I mean, it's invaluable. So in terms of favorite tools, it couldn't work without an email system behind it. So an email platform, but it had to be number 3 for me.
Yeah, because Vicky did an amazing elf inspired promo over Christmas. It was loads of fun because you had to find the elf on the page, and then that opened a different offer, and there was 12 different, was it 12 days of delights? Is that what you called it?
That's
I think.
right, yeah.
Yeah, you had to find the elf on the page, and yeah, it unlocks a different offer each day. Vicky's offering a workshop on it, which she sold over the 12 days of delights. And I'm excited to learn because I always love to learn a new piece of tech, and ConvertBox is not one of the ones that I use at the moment. So yeah, I'm excited to see that in action, how you can put it all together. So thank you for those 3 tech tools that you couldn't run your business without. It's really helpful for people to know, especially people that have really established businesses, kind of what tech is going on behind the scenes, because what all we see is at the front, the offers and what you're teaching and what you're putting out there on social media, but it's really important to know how things are working in the background for all these different business owners, and they can see then if it's something that they can then implement themselves. And that's definitely how I've then gone about with setting mine up, because yeah, as soon as I discovered Divi and Thrivecart, they were definitely things that I wanted. So I'm sure ConvertBox will be no different when I start to learn about that. So tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about kind of, we've obviously touched on that you help with funnels and you help with websites, but how can people work with you and learn with you these different skills that you offer people?
Yeah, so I mean, helping people create websites and helping people create funnels, those are my main programs. I have my Rock That Website program, which you did, and the funnel experience. But for a kind of taster for people, probably the imperfect page would be a good place to start so that they can get their first web page up and running really fast. Because I'm a great believer in when you first start out in business, that actually you should be busy getting clients through the door rather than tinkering with a website. So getting your first page up and running, just it actually really up levels our mindset because it makes us think, okay, I've got something. This is a real business that I'm running, and I've got an online space that I can call my own, and I can direct people to it, and I can print business cards. But it means that you can have this amazing page that looks fabulous, and you can start running a lead magnet from it. So you can start building your list if you want to, and you can get it done in a day rather than having to spend weeks or months building out your website, which, like you said at the beginning, inevitably will change as your offerings change and as your client and your idea of your ideal client changes.
Yeah, Imperfect Page sounds like a brilliant place to start. Where can people find out about the Imperfect Page and more details about it, and how they can get to work with you on it?
Yeah, so all my offerings are at thewebsitementor.com, and I can give you a link directly to the Imperfect page if you want to add that into your show notes.
Yeah, we'll be putting any links that Vicky gives me into the show notes so then you can find out about the Imperfect page yourself. And if people just want to ask you some questions, where's the best platform online for them to do that? Where can they come and find you?
Yes, I've got a free Facebook group called the WordPress Happy Community, and yeah, they can come and join thousands of other entrepreneurs in there who are DIYing their website and building their online businesses.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that's the WordPress Happy Community on Facebook. There'll be a link to that in the show notes as well. Well, thank you, Vicky, for joining me today. It's been so lovely to talk to you. We've covered so much stuff and given people kind of a really idea of how they can get maybe some funnels started in their business and why it's such a key to growing your online business, which I think is really important to know. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. Once again, any links that we've mentioned will be in the show notes. And I hope to see you again next week for another episode of This Mum Loves Tech.